Welcome back to the next episode of the Professionally Evil Fundamentals. I'm Kevin Johnson, and we're still going through the OWASP Top 10 from 2017. In this case, we're going to be doing A3, which is sensitive data exposure. Now, again, as with all of the top 10, well, most of the top 10, the different findings are broad categories of things that could be wrong. And when you get down to the definition of sensitive data exposure, let's be blunt, lots of things could be sensitive. We're going to show you two examples, both using Matildae. The first one is technical details that shouldn't be exposed to an end user. Now, this is a copy of PHP info. PHP info, for the people who don't know, is a function that PHP ships with that you can run. You can build a page and it simply calls the PHP function, PHP info function, and it exports this display. And you'll see that it shows you a lot of information, right? The system details, it tells you when it was built, a lot of different modules that have been during the build process. Those aren't as interesting, other than the fact that old versions and stuff like that. But if we go down further, we'll see, hey, we have file paths to configuration. So if we got access to the server, we may be able to use that. We see what streams have been registered. Maybe we could abuse those. We see lots of different modules that have been loaded within Apache. So we could see if those modules have vulnerabilities that we may want to go after, right? We also see environment variables. All of this is information that probably shouldn't be available to just anybody, right? And by visiting this web page, we're able to see it. So that's the first example. And this one is typically something you're going to show IT people, developers. Look, we've got technical details. This is bad. This shouldn't be exposed. The other type of sensitive data, the broad categories again, is sensitive data like personal information. Okay? And this one actually is kind of funny. And we find this quite often. If we come up here to the browser, and I do want to point out, notice that almost all of these attacks we're doing, we're not using any fancy tools. We're just simply using our web browser. We're capturing this stuff in burp, but that's really for a record, right? So we go to robots.txt. Now, robots.txt is a file that is there so that search engines and other bots that are indexing your site are told, hey, don't go here. And that's great, except for the fact that people like you and I are able to view it. So we see here, look, passwords. That sounds interesting. So if we go to passwords, we'll see that there's actually an account.txt. And if we look, there's systems, system passwords. Right? So we've got the admin password, we've got Adrian's password, John's password. This is the type of thing that shouldn't be accessible. But sadly, we actually see lots of times where files, especially like backup files, will be exported out to a web root and then accessible in this fashion, right? So that's sensitive data exposure, A3 within the 2017 OWASP Top 10. I look forward to your comments and feedback. Please feel free to join us in the Professional Evil Slack. I would love to talk to you about things. Thank you very much.